Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, it is so great to have you. I'm Antoinette, a New Zealander living in Germany. I'm also a mum of 3 kids who were born and so far raised here in Germany. I absolutely love to document my adventures, my motherhood adventures here in Germany. I am so fascinated with the German parenting style. I talk about this a lot in my videos. I actually stumbled across a really interesting article a while ago titled 10 Signs You Were Raised by a German Mum, and I thought, oh my goodness, I have to react to this article on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of viewers who were raised by a German mum, or they are German mums themselves. I have German mum friends. I am fascinated by the German parenting style. I just love watching German mums and seeing how they interact with their children and certain things they do, and I thought it would be just really fun to react to this article. So I am going to be jumping into that really soon, but first I would like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Ana Luisa. So if you're not already familiar with Ana Luisa, they are an ethical, sustainable jewellery line based in New York. They produce the most exquisite jewellery made from recycled materials, and they are 100% carbon neutral. I'm a huge supporter of Ana Luisa's environmental values, but I also wear their jewellery because it's just so gorgeous and it makes me feel very empowered. Just because I'm a 37-year-old mother of 3, it doesn't mean that I can't look and feel my best. I did put in a little bit of effort for today's video, but normally I am running around after my kids in a basic t-shirt and jeans. I've got my hair slicked back, and I can just throw on my Ana Luisa pieces and instantly feel fabulous. It just has a way of dressing up any outfit, even the most basic outfits, and I love that about Ana Luisa jewellery. So I'm wearing this beautiful little delicate A necklace. Obviously it stands for Antoinette. You can choose whatever letter you like. I have stacked this with the Yusuf necklace, which I wear all the time. It's one of my older pieces, but I think these 2 pieces work so well together. I'm wearing the Rocks double pearl earrings. They are made from fresh water pearls. I absolutely love them. I love how classic the pearls are, and the shape of the gold hoops are a little bit edgy, and I love that combination. I'm also wearing the Elijah Bold chain bracelet. It matches just so beautifully with the Yusuf necklace. I was so happy with this one. So if you would like to take a look at Ana Luisa's beautiful sustainable jewellery, I will leave a link for where you can do so in my description below. I also have a discount code for you which you can use on top of the deals they already have going on right now. Okay guys, so let's jump right into my reaction to this article. I am really excited about this one. As I mentioned, it is titled 10 Signs That You Were Raised by a German Mum. Actually, it says mom with the O, so it's obviously an American article, and in New Zealand we spell mum with a U, but it doesn't really matter. So the first point, number 1, your birthdays are still bunt. So bunt is a very popular style of cake that is very popular here in Germany, and a lot of Germans make this as a birthday cake, and it is a cake that usually doesn't have any sort of frosting on top. It'll usually be quite a simple cake, maybe vanilla or chocolate or something like that, but it will be maybe sprinkled with a little bit of icing sugar or powder sugar. I've talked about the difference between German birthday cakes and New Zealand birthday cakes in previous videos. In New Zealand, it is very, very common to have frosting, we call it icing, all over the cake, like thickly spread all over a cake, and it's just a given. You need to have frosting or icing on your cake, and Germans don't like this so much. So yeah, their birthday cakes will be quite plain in comparison to the New Zealand style cakes. Okay, so number 2, you deal with issues by not dealing with them. So basically the caption under this title talks about the fact that German mums don't like to face problems, they don't like to talk about their problems, and they basically deal with it by just ignoring it. And I don't agree with this. I actually strongly disagree with this, and I have a good example of why I disagree with this. So my 9-year-old daughter, she has a group of friends who live on our street. They're all from German families, and they just get on so well. They play so nicely together. The other day there was a little conflict between one of the girls and the rest of the girls, and you know, these things happen. I remember being 9, you have little disagreements and things like that, and The rest of the girls were leaving out this one girl. They didn't want to play with her. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of it. So how this was handled was the mother of the little girl who was getting left out, she called a meeting with all of the girls together and the mums of the little girls. She just wanted to know what was going on and what was causing this conflict, because obviously her daughter was really upset. And so all of the girls got to explain their point of view and what had happened, and they all worked together to come to a conclusion, a solution to how they could play together again. I thought it was amazing that the mum called this meeting and got right to the bottom of this, because there's nothing worse than seeing your child upset, and I think it's really important to sort out these issues. Sometimes these are issues where the kids have to sort it out on their own, but when it's one child getting left out and the rest of the children are sort of ganging up on this one child, it's not okay. So from my experience of living in Germany, I do not think that German mums avoid issues and they don't want to deal with issues. I think it is the complete opposite. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. So next up, you are a closet manner minder. So basically this just talks about the fact that German mums in particular are very strict when it comes to good manners, like table manners and being polite, you know, thank you and please. So basically she's just saying that if you are raised by a German mum, you also have these values deeply ingrained in you. And yeah, I totally agree. German mums are very, very big on manners, and I think a lot of German children, most German children that I have seen, have very, very good table manners, and they are taught how to use a knife and fork correctly from a very early age, from a very young age. And many German kids, most German kids who come to my house to play are just so respectful and so polite. They always say please and thank you, and they take off their shoes before they come in. Not all German kids, but most of them are like this. I'm not saying that New Zealand kids have bad manners, but I do feel like most German kids have exceptionally good manners. Okay, so the next one, number 4, you're healthy and you know it. So basically this article just talks about the fact that many German mums are very health conscious and they like their children to eat a healthy diet, which is great, and I agree with that. I think for the most part German kids eat very well and they have very healthy diets. I don't see a lot of German children having fizzy drinks, you know, soda, things like that. Most German kids are allowed to have sweet treats like cake and ice cream, but it is in moderation. You do not see a lot of unhealthy food in a German child's lunchbox. Actually, there is a no junk food policy at most German kindergartens where you only can pack healthy food, which I think is fantastic. So I do think in general most German mums are very health conscious, and they do encourage their children to have a healthy diet, eat lots of fruit and vegetables, but they definitely do not rule out sweet treats, which I think is great. Everything in moderation. Okay, so next up, I thought this was quite funny. You pack raincoats for the beach. So I have to agree with this. I just feel like German mums in general are very, very organized and very prepared. So at the playground, you'll see German mums, they will always have a jacket packed for their child. They will have little snacks. They will have water. They'll have sunscreen. They will have a hat, just everything. And, you know, I try to do that too. Sometimes I will forget the odd thing, but for the most part, I have learnt this from German mums. You have to be prepared for any weather. German mums will often have a little packet of tissues in their handbag in case anyone has a snuffly nose. They also have plasters in their bags. They're very prepared. So yes, I think in general, German mums are just very organized and very prepared, and I think that is something that they would pass down to their children, I'm sure. Number 6, you are always on time, and I'm going to have to agree with this one. Germans in general are just very punctual, and most of the time they are on time for appointments, and they just don't like to be late. Germans do not like to be late, and it's definitely something that I noticed very early on when I moved to Germany. Actually, I've got a good example of this. Just the other day, Matteo had a play date, and the little boy's mum asked what time should I pick him up, and I said 5:30. And she came at 5:30 on the dot to pick up her little boy. This is not the first time that this has happened. Whenever one of my children has had a play date, the parent will pick up that child on the dot. If you say 5 o'clock, they will be there at 5 o'clock. Maybe 2 minutes early or late, but most likely it'll be on the dot. Number 7, you have inherited her thriftiness gene. So I think in general, many German mums are very environmentally aware. They don't like waste. They would rather spend money on quality items than buy a lot of cheap items, and they are more inclined to sort of repair something that is broken. And I think this can be said for just Germans in general. I think Germans in general are pretty thrifty. So yeah, I can definitely see how this sort of mentality would be passed down to children. Okay, so number 8, you have an obsession with drinking tea. I don't know if I agree with this one. I don't know whether Germans are particularly obsessed with tea. Germans like tea, definitely, but I don't know if they are obsessed with tea more than New Zealanders are. I think many Germans drink a variety of different types of tea, like fruit tea and black tea and just different types of tea. If you are German and you're watching this, if you have been raised by a German mum or you're a German mum yourself, do you love tea? Are you obsessed with tea? I'm not sure. I can't really comment on this. Okay, so number 9, your afternoons are best spent napping. I was actually a little bit confused by this point. I never realized that napping in the afternoon was a German thing. I think everyone, basically everyone, enjoys a little afternoon nap if they get the chance. Is this a German thing? If you're German and you're watching this, let me know. Do you love to take an afternoon nap? Is this something that your mother did, or is this something that your grandmother did? I would be really interested to know. Okay, last but not least, number 10, you make all of your friends wear Pantoffeln. And so these are basically just like house shoes, or you know, the Birkenstock sandals. A lot of Germans like to wear them as house shoes. They also like to wear them outside the home as well. I have been to German homes and there have been house shoes, slippers laid out for the guests to wear, but I don't think this is the case in every German home. And I think maybe the older German generation used to do this. I'm not sure if this happens so much now. Sometimes there will be a little bag in a German home where there will be guest house shoes. It's definitely a German thing, that's for sure, but I don't think this would be a habit that you would maybe take to another country. Maybe it is. Maybe Germans living abroad like to have guest house shoes. I'm not sure. Let me know if you are a German living abroad. Is this something you do? Is this a German tradition you have carried on? So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this reaction video from the perspective of a New Zealand mum raising my kids in Germany. I would love to hear some opinions from actual German mums and Germans who have been raised by German mums, especially if you're living overseas. Has your German mum passed on some of these typical German habits to you? Do you agree with the points in this article, or do you disagree? I would love to hear your opinion in my comment section below. Also, I just wanted to remind you, if you were interested in checking out Ana Luisa's beautiful sustainable jewellery, I will leave a link for where you can do so in my description below. I will also leave a discount code for you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. I would love you to consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.